Hey everyone, welcome back to the Professor Trades channel. And we are looking at the 12-month chart. So what each year has done, and something pretty interesting that I just looked at. So if we go down here to 2020, where price was as low as 68 cents a barrel, and we drop this fib level at the high, which was in 2022, where we reached about $130 a barrel. You can see here that on the yearly mark, we are currently at this 50% rejection fib level that we hit earlier this year. Now, wow, could you have imagined if we would have thought back at that 38 cents, if we would have held positions since then? None of us would probably be here, because that was absolutely incredible that we came all the way down here at this price point to 38 cents. And again, this was back in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic. And then we rose here in 2022 to about 130 or so. And again, had we been selling from here and holding, then again, we'd be in a sweet position. But again, here right now on the yearly, we are kind of taking a look that we right now, as of we are finishing up 2023, we did go down as far as the 50% fib level, and we have rejected. So we are going to be kind of breaking this down as we walk down the different timetables. We are obviously not going to trade at the yearly chart, but it's just something interesting to understand as we look at the bigger picture, because the question that I have for you, and I want to drop it here in the chat real quick, is do you think that we are going to close above 75 or below 75 with crude oil by the end of this year? Okay, so go down into the comments below and let me know. We're going to come back to this at the end of 2023 in the first week of January, and we'll kind of have a fun position with it. We'll see who was right, who was wrong. So 75, are we going to be higher or lower by the end of 2023? Go down into the comments and let me know what you think. And then scrolling down on that ticker, this is the latest crude oil news. So as this video is going, read the bottom scrolling so you can kind of take a look at what's been happening over the last week with crude oil, because we've had 7 weeks of some massive drops, but we are going to be analyzing that on this video. All right, so let's go ahead now and get back into our analysis. And I'm going to go over to the monthly chart and kind of take a look at what the monthly has been doing. Again, I'm going to get rid of that arrow right there. And again, this is where we are currently on the month. Okay, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger because I want to give you some perspective. Okay, so we understood that this level here, and what I like to do is kind of mark this level. Okay, and again, and what I like to kind of do up here is, mark it as, just a little box for me that yellow is yearly 50% fib. Okay, and this gives me kind of a perspective as we're kind of moving. I'll just keep it in here, and I'll just keep it as a cheat sheet as we're kind of looking from month to month, week to week, and as we go down into the charts. Because now if we draw a fib level, we go from this low to this high, and again, we're now sitting on the monthly chart, we could see that we've crossed the 61.8, okay? And we are in a position of, in this month, and again, we are still in December, right? We still have the possibility of retesting this area right in here. We cannot discount that we may not retest this 64 or 65. Okay, there is a possibility when you look at the monthly chart. Okay, and we've been here several times now, once, twice, the top of it 3 times. Will we come back down to retest right around this 88.6 fib level or this zone here. Again, as you look to your left, we were here back in 2021. We were back here in November 2021. We were back here in September 2021. We were back here in July 2021. So we've been here. And then this area also worked as resistance back in March of 2020 before we had this drop here. So as we look at this chart, we have to understand that we do have these levels here where previous resistance then turned into support. So we know that that 65 level is going to be a crucial level. Okay, a crucial level. So as we kind of, take a look at this, we understand here, as we talked about, this fib level, okay, at the 50, okay, we've gone to that fib level many times. So we cannot discard that as we move from time frame to time frame, because we're about to jump on the weekly time frame now. Okay, so as we go into the weekly time frame, okay, this is what we're beginning to see. We're going to kind of look at a couple of things here so you can have the best decision possible with what you want to do with your trading. So as we break this down, again, we're not going to trade on the yearly, we're not going to trade on the monthly, but it's important for you, for me, as retail traders to understand what the big picture is, right? Because even though I'm a scalper, I drop down to lower time frames, my perspective is heavily influenced by the higher time frames. As I show you fib levels in just a few minutes on the 8 hour, the 4 hour, those fib levels for me is concrete because I will scalp off the higher fib levels, but I will enter on the lower time frames. And I hope that's making sense to you. I want to make sure that I'm speaking slower. I know we have a lot of watchers and viewers from all over the globe, from India, Switzerland, Sweden. So I'm going to do my best to keep my English nice and slow so all of you can understand. And of course, you can always go down below. If you don't want to hear me, turn on the closed captions. I subtitle all my videos in over 20 languages as well. So let's go ahead and get back into the weekly chart here. So again, we are still looking at this same fib level. Now, towards the end of the week, we did see this pullback. And again, so now we begin to look that we've been here in this area right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 8, now 9 times. Okay, so again, we have to look that we have rejected near this area on several occasions. So what I like to do is grab this trend line here and just give me a visual that we've been here. Okay, we've been here before. I'm going to kind of bring it down, and this is just for me as a visual. Okay, we've been there before because this orange line is 68.43, but the fib level is 65. So again, it's not uncommon for crude oil to move 1, 2, 3% a day. Okay, very common for that to happen. But I want to leave that orange line now there, into perspective as we begin to analyze this on a smaller time frame. Okay, so now as we drop down into our daily, now you see this is where the analysis gets very interesting, and sometimes this is where crude oil traders don't take the time to conduct the analysis on these multi-levels to really give you a huge perspective about what is really happening in the crude oil market. Okay, now for those of you who need some help, need some mentoring, need some coaching, what I've done is I went ahead and had an app created specifically for crude oil, but also for some other indices that we trade as well. But we have 90% of our members that are just pretty much trading crude oil. And so in this app, you're going to be able to connect globally with traders from around the world. I'm going to offer you a chat zone for you to do that, a video section for you to do that. You get full access. You're going to get all my trade alerts on crude oil indices, gold, and so forth. Super simple that you can actually use when it comes to Android, iOS, or like many people use it, they use it on the web browser. So the link will be provided in the video description. Look in there. Also, if you go up to the top here, one of these sections, you're going to see a QR code on the screen. You can scan that, and that's going to take you directly to that section. And again, multiple plans to choose from, very affordable, less than $1 a day. If you join the annual plan, less than about 50 cents a day. I want to just be able to give you value. That just covers my cost of running this app and everything else. So again, jump in there, learn something new. You can cancel anytime, and we'd love to see you in there joining the other members globally that we currently have with us. So as we jump into the daily now we begin to look at, okay, what is our game plan? Okay, what is our game plan? Now, we do understand that crude oil is definitely still, it has been dropping. Okay, it has been dropping for over 7 weeks. So we have to definitely understand that we, at this position, we should still be looking to sell the retracements until otherwise. Okay, and I'm going to give you those areas here as we kind of move forward. So let's kind of take a look at you, because my videos are not going to be flashy in editing. I want to be able to give you perspective, to give you the best opportunity to enter either what I'm talking about or what you think is best for you. So my videos also become learning videos. And thank you to all of you that take the time to post comments in these videos. Again, you can definitely smash that like button for me to support the video as well. Again, there'll be links in the video description for you to take a look at. But I want these videos to be learning videos as well, not just flashy editing videos that show you all this stuff here. As you can see, there are no indicators on my chart because I think I want to be able to get you to the point where you trust support and resistance. That's what I do on crude oil. That is 90% of what I do with crude oil. So it becomes much easier, and I want to help you build your confidence as well to taking your own trades at some point, but I am definitely here to help you. So we can see here that we came here again so many times to the left, and then we return back. Here is that orange line there. So again, you may be thinking, well, here we go, we're going to take off. Well, we may see an end of year retracement, okay? And let me caution you, okay, that the market across the board has been, in my opinion, heavily manipulated over the last couple of weeks. End of the year gets very, very tricky, right? Contracts are closing out. The market makers have a price that they want to close across the board, not just Forex, but indices, crude oil, gold. And so you're going to see some massive swings like we saw with gold. Just this week, it moved, 200, 300, 400 pips, if not 1,000 pips. We saw what happened with the JPYs yesterday, the day before, where we dropped all of a sudden 200 pips, and then we recovered in less than 30 minutes. So again, use caution, use the right lot sizes, don't overtrade, have your stop losses in place so you can retain capital in your account and you can continue doing this, because that really is the name of the game. So now we have to kind of begin to look at what is going to be our game plan for this week coming up in December. And again, I know I asked you that question earlier. So again, let me know if you think, even as we conduct this analysis, right, do you think that we are going to close above or below 75? Let me know down in the video comments section if you think we're going to go higher than 75 and close higher, or you think we're going to close lower than 75 as we move forward. So now what we want to do is we kind of want to take a look at this chart here, and we want to begin to analyze crude oil from a daily perspective. So again, we are going to use a fib level, and we're going to go from this wick down here. Now, we have been selling crude oil inside of our app for quite a while. Congratulations to, all of our members who have been taking these great trades. And we've been basing a lot of these great trades on just a couple of different perspectives. For example, this one here, we had added a fib at this level, and we all sold near this 61 point area. So we caught that drop right in there, which is a very, very nice drop. We also realized that we had come back up to retest this area right here. Okay. And so what that did is that gave us a teacup effect, right? Based on previous resistance. which was support over here to the left, right? So what we did is we took a very nice sell position with very low risk with our stop loss, and we were selling ever since. So again, congratulations to those members who have made nice returns on crude oil inside of our app. And again, a shout out to our chat zone. We've got some excellent traders in there who are just providing massive value for everyone. So if you're a beginner, you're not going to be lost. If you've been trading for a while, you're going to be right up to speed with what we do. So as we kind of take a look at these fib levels, let me fib this again, because maybe that gave you a lot of confusion. So we are here now at this fib level. Now, again, we've got to take a look at, we are still trending down when it comes to crude oil. So as I look at the daily perspective, right, I want to begin to look in this area for first opportunities, which is the 61.8, diving deeper between 61.8 and the 78.6. So in here, we want to definitely take a look at this area. We'll come back to this on a smaller time frame as our key area. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to look, and I want to go ahead and text this here for my perspective, right? And this will be retracement on the daily time frame, right? So this gives me kind of, again, going back to my cheat sheet, as I look, right, this is the retracement area based on those fib levels between the 61 and the 78 that I want to look for. So again, not to clutter up the chart, I then remove that perspective there. So now, as I begin to drop down in time frame, what I like to do is kind of widen out, right, and take a look that we have been here before. Okay, we have been in this area before, and we had this area also used as prior resistance. So again, that's kind of what we are looking at on the big picture. So as we kind of bring our chart to perspective, I like to zoom in because I want to tell you where we are at, right? We can confirm that this area here that we had taken that drop, right, is kind of an area that we have a lot of traffic. So we have to respect, right? The same goes with this fib level right here. We've been there before, right? You can see all of the value and support and previous resistance and vice versa in these areas there. So again, on the bigger time frame, we have to consider those areas. So now we drop to our 8 hour. And as we drop to our 8 hour, again, there will be zones within zones that we have to respect. One of those that I can see right off the bat is going to be right here. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and keep this consistent and make this yellow. Remember that zones are not lines. Okay. That's 72.82. That was just marked in that area, because when you look to our left, right, we could definitely identify that we have been there, and we have been there on both support and resistance throughout. Okay. So we want to respect that area, and that's going to be important in your analysis, because some traders will decide if price is moving up, they want to enter a buy here, and then all of a sudden prices changes. Well, that's because you failed to realize that over here, this area had been previous resistance as well, and you wonder why your price is going down. So we need to have clear signs like this example, that price breaks above, retest to then move up to our next channel, which is going to be near $76 a barrel. Okay, so that is what we begin now to analyze on a very, very smaller time frame, as we begin to move forward. Okay, so now that we are kind of here, we can begin to take a look to see if anything aligns with this newly created mid zone halfway up to that area. And what I like to kind of take a look at is moving up here is, once we came up here on this wick, right, we clearly see that price shifted away from us. Okay, so what I like to kind of do now is draw a fib level from where price began to react down to where obviously this lower wick is. And ironically enough, right, you cannot make this up, right? Ironically enough, look where the 61.8 area dropped right into the zone that we found on an 8 hour time frame, right? So again, This is why you've got to take the time to do your analysis on multi-time frame so that you don't get stuck entering something that you're not 100% sure, or you think it's a buy and then the price drops on you because you didn't realize that on a smaller time frame that was an area of support or resistance, right? So that is why I take the time, and this is why I want to give you the value on the Sunday analysis, why I do a longer video to give you perspective, right? Because we all have biases on buys or sells. I want to put you in the best position to win on either side, and that's the beauty about trading in the Forex market. We can take buys and make money. We can take sells and make money. This is why I love this market, and this is why we're seeing so many people from different industries, join us, right? We've got doctors, we've got police officers, we've got nurses, we've got teachers, we've got people that work regular 9-to-5 jobs, we got people that work 2 jobs, but they find a way to jump in, get the value in the app, take 1 or 2 trades a day, make a little extra income. That little extra income, you can use it for whatever you want, right? So there are a lot of naysayers out there. We block out the haters. We do what we do best. And again, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. So as we kind of take a look at this, now we can begin that our first perspective, we are going to be looking to see if we can get that retracement around this $73 price mark. And again, for those of you in the group, we talk about these psychological numbers, and I'm going to be giving you some setups here towards the end of this video. So just stick around because I want to finish this analysis. Okay. So now we understand here, and I'm going to go ahead and drop another text box, that this is a 61.8 fib level on the 8H chart, right? So as I look at these charts, as we move forward, we understand this is what we're looking at, right? We have our retracement on the daily. Now we have our 61.8 at the fib level on the 8-hour chart. Okay, so hopefully this is all making sense to you, and this is why I'm going extra slow. We're not done yet. We're going to end up somewhere around the 15-minute chart with some setups for you. We'll talk about the gap, but again, if you're getting some value on this video, if I'm making this clear to you, if you're learning something, go down below and type in the word learn. If you're learning something today, drop the word learn in the comments, because I want to be able to get back to you and comment to you and see maybe what else you're trading and how else we can help you as well. So let's now drop down into our 4-hour perspective. And again, now we can begin to see that we took off from that lower fib level and we are reaching this critical area that was created, okay, within our 8-hour time frame, okay, within our 8-hour time frame. So again, this is where I want to stick to the fib levels. I don't want to go any lower on creating the fib levels because I like the fib levels at the higher time frames. Okay, so our 4-hour perspective, we are definitely we closed with a bullish candle here. Now we did not cross above this wick right here, so that was our last high point of the day there with regards to Friday crude oil trading, which stands at about 71.50. Okay, so it came basically up to the 50%, showed us a small rejection, and then we are going to see now what is going to happen at that 50% level. And again, we are expecting some type of gap to happen, small or big. Usually we will see a gap within crude oil. So now as we drop down to the 1 hour, again, we can see here that trading was very, very flat, okay, over obviously the last few hours of the market. And again, the markets, as we get deeper into December, we're going to see less and less volume with platforms closing, brokers going on vacation, and things of that nature. Okay, so what we do know is this: we had our high there, but we also had over 4 hours of rejection here. Okay, so this point here, which was about 71.20 on this trading view chart, we did see that rejection there. And then we had the lows down of the session, which was on Thursday, down here at this 68.77. Okay, so again, will we come back to test these lows? That still remains to be seen. But again, I would not buy from this position, and I would not sell from this position yet. I want to see if we can get a deeper push into the higher fib levels. And I think this will shake out as we kind of move forward. Okay. So as we kind of take a look across here, we don't see too much data, right, on the 1 hour chart, right? If we come down here and then we scroll over, right, we don't see too much data happening on the 1 hour until we go way back here and we see where price was at. This is back in July of 2023, okay, 2023. So we don't have too much data. What we do know is that right here, we do have a 1 hour zone that was created. So I'm going to mark that, and then I'm going to get back to our current analysis. And you can see here that just by the plain eye, the zone on the 1 hour that was created, which had previous resistance, was also previous support. So we can't disregard this $70 price point, right? And again, remember, it's never a line, it's an area. So I'm just going to call it 70 because crude oil loves psychological whole numbers. So again, this is an area that if on this fib level, okay, I'm going to create this right here. Okay, let's just create this. This is about 71, by the way. Okay, and again, this is about 70. All right, those are 100 pip moves, which are very nice. And we love our 100 pip daily moves when we get them, right? This is something that now, as we begin to analyze, we have this next sell area based on fib levels up in here, okay? We've got to take a look at these types of situations where if price does break down below, I'm going to keep these candles white so it's nice and clear on the black background, then we can expect price to possibly come down and target here. But the key thing here is, where are we going to have that closure, and then are we going to retest, right? I usually do not just trade the sudden impulse, because in this example, right, sudden impulse, and then we kind of retraced a little bit. So I want to be able to see a little bit more clearer. And again, will we come back down here? Okay. Or we can also see that price is closed above. Will we come back down to this level and then give us a retest back up to our next fib level, which is going to be right here? So none of these levels can be disregarded. And this is about 71, 75 up in this area. Okay. And again, I'm going to keep it consistent. And let's go ahead and make this yellow. So as we kind of drop in here, right, we're now developing our zone to zone trading. And this is all we do. We keep it simple, nothing fancy. We trade from zone to zone, and we do very, very well because we have our areas that we would get out of the trade if it's going to go down to the next zone. And so we talk about that, and we give you those stop losses and areas inside of our app with our daily analysis. So this is what we're looking at when it comes to that 1 hour perspective. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, and you can always come back and rewatch this, but I want to clear up this chart a little bit because I want to give you the gap scenario that may or may not happen. So here now, this is where price closed. So we are going to drop a gap right here. So this is where price closed on Friday. Okay, so we'll see what kind of gap is created there. Okay, and again, if we drop all the way down now to our 15-minute chart, and thank you for your patience. I appreciate all of you. If you're still here watching, let me know in the comments that you are still watching this video, because I want to give you a shout out if you are still here, because again, we are running 28 minutes on this video just to give you massive value, right? Massive value. So here now we can begin to see, and this is where we formulate our game plan. Now, just as a reminder to all of you, although the folks in my group know how we've built our account massively over the last 3 weeks, that our group has been doing this together, right? And this has always been my strategy with crude oil. This is what I was taught, and this is how we've been able to grow our accounts consistently over the years. 20 points at a time. And when I say points, let me also reflect that can mean pips to you, right? Depending on which markets you're trading on. 20 pips at a time. Then we cash out or protect, right? Depending on whether you're going to try and go further down, that's up to you, right? Crude oil will give you 20 pips all day, right? If you need evidence, jump into our app, Maybe some of the folks that are in the app will comment on this video and will tell you how successful we've been just taking 20. We've had people commonly over the last couple of weeks take 200 pips a day on crude oil because we're giving those updates in the app. We're giving those updates in the chat zone, and we're just scalping. And again, you don't need 100 pips a day to be very profitable in this market, right? If you can just learn, and again, this is what makes a big difference. I'll be launching kind of a trader kind of podcast just to motivate you and just to listen to some key things. But if you're trying to hit a home run with every trade, you might win some trades. You might have a great week, even a great month. But at some point, right, you're going to begin to lose trades, and that's going to affect your psychology. So we're very big on getting in and getting out, especially right now at the end of the year. So get in, get out. You don't need 100 pips a day. You could be a very profitable trader with 20 pips a day, because even if your lot size is 10 cents on a $100 account, right, and you're making $1, right, you're making 1%, right? Ask people who manage $1 million accounts, all they look for is 0.5% a month. I know someone who does that. And you go do the math on what 0.5% a month on a $1 million account brings you in just what you earned, right, without touching your capital. So don't, people that are saying 5-8%, there is no trader here that can daily sustain 5-8% a day. That's a bunch of crap, okay? You'll be in serious drawdown. You'll blow accounts left and right. You're trading on demo. You're not in a live account. If you can come in here and learn how to make, 1 or 2% a week, you're going to be successful. And that's what we're talking about in our app. We're changing the programming. A lot of traders came from bad experiences where they felt they were risking 5-8% per trade, and then they wonder why they're on their 4th account. We're going to be doing a lot more of that. We also trade live in the app, so I don't need to set up YouTube or a third party. We trade in the app. You get a notification. But we'll be doing a lot more mindset. I'll be doing some of that podcasting here on YouTube, but especially in our app for our members as well. So again, we hope to see you in there at some point if you think is best for you. Okay. Again, so we are here now. So we really have to wait to see how price is going to react in this area. Okay. Because if I just take a smaller fib level from this rise up to here, okay, we understand that this area that was created in a higher time frame, which is the fib level, kind of does bring us into that 50 percentile. Okay, but removing that, we do have some equal lows here that I think at some point are definitely going to be taken out as well. But when people ask me, hey, professor, do you think we're going higher or lower? There is no way that I could honestly and truthfully answer that question for you, because I'm not one of the market makers. I can tell you based on support, resistance, where we may go next, but where it's going to go, nobody really knows. We all just do our best to provide technical analysis, right? I don't really count on too much fundamental, but nowadays you've got to read about what's going on. And that's why I left that news ticker going on down below, because this is current news, things that we have to pay attention to. Now, in our group, we trade what we see and not what we feel, but understand that we do have to understand what the bigger picture might be, especially with all the reports of, cuts, because we know the big players, if they can get crude oil to be $200 a barrel, they would be very, very happy. We wouldn't be happy in the gas pumps, but they would be very, very happy. So this is kind of where we are looking at to see what price is going to do. We gave you perspectives from the, I'm going to kind of close this up. We gave you perspectives from the yearly, the monthly, the weekly, the daily, the 8-hour, the 4-hour, the 1 hour, and we ended here on the 15-minute chart. So again, we're going to use caution for the rest of the year. I don't want anyone to make some major mistakes. The key to trading is to preserve your capitals, trying to get the best entries we can, knowing when to get out and taking profits along the way, because if you're always looking for the home run and you're always closing at break even, that will not grow your accounts. Okay, so we are going to kind of stand by in this section right now. Again, we will be updating this in the app, so I hope you have the opportunity to jump in there with us and take a look. Okay, I hope you got some value on this video. In just a few seconds, you're going to be seeing another video appearing on your screen. I did a full breakdown on how to trade crude oil specifically with these fib levels. So I hope that video will help you generate fib levels on every time frame and just give you a little bit more perspective about how I draw the fib levels and why we're so successful on those fib levels. So definitely watch that video on your screen.